To wrap up this module, we've now talked about three different local scope properties and the concept of isolate scope in our directives. So as a quick review, we talked about how the at local scope property can be used for string type binding, and it's a one-way binding. And so this is useful when you just need to pass in a simple value and get it into the directive, but if the directive changes it, nothing happens to the outer scope that originally passed it in. We also talked about the bidirectional or multidirectional or two-way binding, whatever you'd like to call it, type of local scope property, and that's the equals. And you saw how with this one, we can not only pass strings and things, but we can also pass full objects and keep those in sync between the directive and the outer scope that passed in the value. And you can see that definition on that particular piece of code. And then finally, we talked about how you can execute functions, or it could even be expressions that are passed when the directive is defined over here. But in this case, we're passing in a function named click, that's the outer one. And internally, in this example, we're even going to call it click. And so the way we do that is with the ampersand local scope property. So I hope that gives you a good idea about how we can completely isolate ourselves from the outside world in our directives, and how we can kind of build a pipeline though through the wall by using either the at, the equals, or the ampersand local scope properties.